On February 2nd, 2021, Oatmeal Influencer tweeted, "Have to tell a guy his house is sinking tomorrow," with a photo of Nicki Minaj captioned, "So there's this load-bearing wall you shouldn't have removed." This is the Museum of Twitter, the show we talk about the most important tweets in the history of Twitter.com. It's Subscriber Sunday, where my Patreon subscribers get to vote on which tweet I cover, and as usual, they picked a great tweet. Now, if this tweet makes no sense to you, or at least what the joke is makes no sense to you, congratulations, you're among everyone else. Because I think what's funny about this tweet is that using a Nicki Minaj meme to talk about telling someone that their house is sinking because they removed a load-bearing wall is a very incongruous way to do that. You just don't imagine that there's a lot of overlap between general contractor talk about load-bearing walls and memes of Nicki Minaj. But what is this meme of Nicki Minaj? Because if you're like me, you'd never seen the original meme before this one. Because obviously Oatmeal Influencer covered up a word or words with load-bearing wall you shouldn't have removed. So according to Know Your Meme, the original photo is from the 2011 American Music Awards. You can see here she is announcing something with Pitbull. And then sometime in 2020, they don't know exactly when, and if they don't know when, I'll never find out, someone edited it, added filters, and captioned it, "So there's this guy." Presumably the implication is that the face she's making is that she's like blushing over a guy. Whoever made it is trying to say like, yes, so there's this guy I've been thinking about. But that version of the meme is almost never used. This episode's not about this meme generally, so I just have two examples, but someone made it, "So there's this serve," "So there's this mental illness." You can literally put anything you want on there. But "So there's this load-bearing wall you shouldn't have removed" is so far afield from those, it just is great. And the idea of a contractor conveying that information to a homeowner via a Nicki Minaj meme is great. Oatmeal Influencer even followed up, replying, "Emailing him this tomorrow," with a screenshot of a tweet that reads, "Something shifted. Shit's about to get real weird." Which is also very funny, because in the tweet, obviously shifted is like metaphorical, but Oatmeal Influencer means that literally the house is sinking. I'm sure some of you are wondering what a load-bearing wall is, and that's understandable, although it is exactly what it sounds like. I'm not a contractor, I know almost nothing about buildings, but basically the long and the short of it is that not every single wall in your house or building is necessary for the building to keep standing, but some are. And if you remove one of the walls that is necessary to keep the building standing, the building will eventually stop standing. Either it will immediately collapse, or it will start sinking like the building in the tweet. Sean Maciel had a fun story in the replies where he says, "A few years back, one of my clients started removing drywall in his basement and discovered roughly 3 meters of concrete load-bearing foundation had just dissolved. It was gone. There was a basement window just floating there through sheer force of will." You really just don't want to be removing walls willy-nilly. You never know what a load-bearing wall is. Which reminds me of a joke I wrote in a pilot script in college where a character got an apartment where he couldn't remove a stripper pole because it was a load-bearing stripper pole. I don't think that makes sense, but it's a funny idea to me, and it's funny to me 7 years later. If you're wondering who Oatmeal Influencer is, how there is a person who is using Nicki Minaj memes but also talking about load-bearing walls, they are, or at least were, a contractor. They said the following in a reply: "I am a general contractor, my brother is an engineer. When we work together, he lets me break news first because breaking bad news to rich people is my passion." Which honestly, that's wonderful. An additional follow-up came from Oatmeal Influencer a few months later, where in October they said, "You'll be happy to know this man is moving next week." So presumably the house was still sinking, but didn't sink enough for him to not live in it until October. People love this tweet. People love how informal it is talking about something like a load-bearing wall. And people like Angus made their own memes about the situation that are equally inappropriate. He made the "they don't know" meme with Nicki Minaj's face saying, "They don't know they removed a load-bearing wall and we're all sinking." And the meme is referenced plenty. It was referenced in February. Jonathan tweeted, "Every time I hear about the new program that Doge has gutted, I think about this." The idea being that any of the programs they cut might be a load-bearing wall that they shouldn't have removed. And two different people said that this is what HGTV shows are like. Hugh Jass said the Property Brothers be like. But I think what's more accurate is what Kelly XCX says, saying, "Hillary from Love It or List It when she finds out the couple's house had an uncertified contractor do work on the house." And I will say, as an aside about Love It or List It, I've never seen an episode of Love It or List It where I thought that they should love it. My opinion on whether or not you should love it or list it is at the moment that you're asking that question, the answer is listed. But that's just me. I do really love this type of tweet where internet brain rot comes in contact with like real world situations. Like contractors have been dealing with people accidentally removing load-bearing walls and having to deal with the consequences of that for hundreds of years. But people have only been speaking in brain rot Nicki Minaj memes for a couple of years. And so to see those collide and see how silly it is warms my heart. And because I know there are going to be a lot of new viewers watching this who don't know, yes, I did Onika Burgers, it's episode 50. Follow me for news tweet every day, and if you want to do things like vote on what I cover on Subscriber Sundays, please join my Patreon, patreon.com/Museum of Twitter, where you also get the weekly Museum of Not Twitter.